and welcome to Free Dictionary Friday. I'm etetutor and this is part 3 of our little Happy Birthday Mr. Dickens collection. So in this video we're going on to look at his literary style. So this is obviously really important for your GCSE exams or for anybody who's studying the novel. Understanding the general literary style is a great starting point. So many novelists carry the same style throughout their work, and Dickens is very much one of those novelists. So a general understanding of his approach is really useful regardless of the novel. So what we can see here is some of his influences. Now at GCSE level you're not going to be expected to know what these things are, and it's not going to be that useful for you. But what is some of the key features of his literary style. So satire is something that Dickens was celebrated for, as was his ability to create caricatures. So we're going to pop that in our little notes. I will share these with you once I've sorted them out a little bit. So we can see here that caricature was considered his forte. So it's a nice vocabulary for you. His best thing, his specialised area. If you're not sure what satire actually is, it is useful to have a look at this particular word within the dictionary itself. It's a type of humour that's quite often considered to be a little bit biting, a little bit mean. It looks at the truth underneath things in a humorous way, often to make a political or social commentary point. So that's what he's known for doing. So creating over the top characters, sometimes characters that's purpose is really just to send a message home. So that's one of the things we need to think about. And also the fact that he developed, as they describe them here, arresting names for his characters. So names that carry some kind of significance. They're symbolic. They helped the story. So it's been expressed here as an allegorical impetus, his development of these particular characters. Now that is very advanced for you. What you need is just some examples so you can get your head round this. So if we think about Pip, he's the main character within Great Expectations. Now I don't want to do any spoilers, but it's difficult not to, so skip forward a couple of 10 seconds if you don't want to hear about Great Expectations. But the character of Pip is somebody who goes on a great journey throughout the novel. The novel's known as a Bildungsroman, a novel of character development, character change, and I think the character was given the name Pip because a pip is something that represents potential. If you think of a seed, an apple seed, we call it a pip. If you were to bury that seed, what are you going to get? Hopefully you're going to get a great old big apple tree bearing loads of fruit. So we can see the word pip represents the symbolic journey that character is going to go through. So that's just one example about how these character names can tell us something about the story, but they can also just tell us something about the character themselves. So if we think about Christmas Carol, if you think about Bob Cratchit, always makes me think of Scratchit, scratching around, struggling, and that's what his character goes through, and that could well have been something that Dickens had thought of. Or it doesn't matter if it's not something that the writer had thought of in terms of your GCSE exams. If it's a point that you can argue well and you agree with that interpretation, then it is something you might be able to include. So another thing that we can also comment on is Dickens's ability to mix fantasy and realism. So A Christmas Carol is probably the best and most straightforward example of this. We see the ghosts, don't we? We see this supernatural happenings, almost time travel, really ahead of his time. So that's something that you would want to be able to mention in the exam if it's something that's relevant to the particular question. Hopefully that's helped a little bit. If you read through, there are more examples in there, so they should shed a little bit more light on it. Right, we're not going to go further. I'm going to break it up even more and we'll look at the characters next time. Alright then, thanks as always for watching. If these are helpful, please hit like. It's a slightly different approach towards preparing for your GCSE English literature here than you see on a few of the YouTube channels. Everybody's got different ways of doing things, and if you can mix different approaches, it really will help you to keep your revision fresh, and hopefully that'll mean you get the grade you want to. Alright then, I've got great expectations. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.